Jesus Christ, the central figure of Christianity, was born over 2,000 years ago in the small town of Bethlehem in Judea, a province of the Roman Empire. His birth is celebrated worldwide on December 25th as Christmas, marking a moment that Christians believe changed the course of history. According to the Bible, his mother Mary was a young virgin who was chosen by God to bear his son, and her husband Joseph, a humble carpenter, accepted the divine plan with faith and courage. At the time of Jesus' birth, Mary and Joseph traveled to Bethlehem for a Roman census. Finding no room in the overcrowded inns, they took shelter in a stable, and there Jesus was born, wrapped in swaddling clothes and placed in a manger. His birth was not one of earthly grandeur, but one of profound humility, emphasizing the simplicity and purity of his mission. On that night, angels appeared to shepherds watching their flocks in the fields, announcing the arrival of the Savior with songs of joy and peace. Meanwhile, a bright star guided wise men from the east to visit the newborn king, bringing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, each symbolizing his kingship, divinity, and future sacrifice. This miraculous and humble beginning is the foundation of the Christmas story, celebrated for its message of hope, love, and the fulfillment of God's promise to humanity. As Jesus grew, he lived a quiet and obedient life in the town of Nazareth, helping Joseph in his carpentry work and preparing for the mission God had entrusted to him. At the age of 30, Jesus began his ministry, traveling through towns and villages, teaching people about God's love and the principles of faith, kindness, forgiveness, and humility. His teachings, often shared through parables, resonated with the poor, the outcast, and the downtrodden, offering them hope and the promise of salvation. Jesus also performed many miracles, such as healing the sick, restoring sight to the blind, raising the dead, and calming storms, further affirming his divine authority and compassion. Crowds followed him wherever he went, inspired by his words and deeds. However, his growing influence drew the ire of religious leaders and authorities who saw him as a threat to their power. Despite this opposition, Jesus continued his mission, ultimately sacrificing his life through crucifixion, an act Christians believe redeemed humanity from sin. 3 days after his death, he rose again, an event celebrated as the resurrection, which forms the cornerstone of Christian faith and symbolizes the victory of life over death. The celebration of Christmas is deeply rooted in this story of Jesus' birth and life, evolving over centuries into a time of joy, reflection, and giving. Early Christians marked the day with solemn worship and acts of charity, but over time, traditions grew to include family gatherings, feasts, and festive decorations. The Christmas tree, symbolizing everlasting life, became a central feature of homes, while the custom of exchanging gifts echoes the generosity of the wise men and reflects Jesus' message of selflessness. Carols and hymns, inspired by the angelic proclamation to the shepherds, fill the season with music and praise. Nativity scenes depicting the stable where Jesus was born serve as a reminder of his humble beginnings and the love that his arrival brought into the world. Today, Christmas is celebrated in countless ways across the globe, blending cultural traditions with the shared message of hope and peace. Families come together to share meals, exchange gifts, and create memories, while communities engage in acts of kindness, helping those in need and spreading joy. Church services, often featuring candlelit gatherings, prayers, and nativity plays, focus on the spiritual meaning of the holiday, reminding believers of Jesus' teachings and sacrifice. Although modern celebrations sometimes emphasize material aspects, the true essence of Christmas remains the commemoration of Jesus' birth and the light he brought to the world. At its heart, Christmas is a season of love, generosity, and faith, uniting people in the timeless message of goodwill and the promise of a better future.